Hey makeup friends! Today we're going to be taking a look at the new concealer from KVD. This is the Good Apple Lightweight Full Coverage Concealer. I'm going to do a 10-hour wear test and share my thoughts on it with you, so let's get straight into it. As always, I want to start off by welcoming you back to my channel, or if you're new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and on my channel we like to mix beauty, brains, and the occasional F-bomb. Like I said, today's video is going to be all about the Good Apple Concealer, but I do want to address the other makeup that is going on my face really quickly. So the foundation that I'm wearing today is from NARS. This is the new Light Reflecting Foundation. I have done a wear test on this as well today, and I'm not sure which order the videos are going to go up, but there will be a review of that on my channel very soon if it's not up already. On my eyes, I am wearing shades from the Melt Cosmetics Amore y Mariposas palette, and on my lips, I have a matte lipstick here from Il Maquillage, part of their Dirty Talk line, and this is number 708 Elwa. Okay, so we have got some concealer to talk about, and I have to say it's not available on the Sephora website yet. It will be released on February 1st. However, when I saw it pop up on the website, there were a few shades that were available, so I did pick one of them up. It's very light. This is the second lightest of the shades. I do think that I made it work. I don't think it'll work in summer on me unless I am extremely good with my SPF game. But regardless, it did work out, and I thought even if it doesn't, we can test out the formula and see how we get on with it. So the shade that I have here is Light 105. This is described as being for fair, light skin tones with warm yellow undertones. So it is a little bit light for me, but the undertones are there, so it's workable. This retails for $37 Canadian on the Sephora website, and you get 10 milliliters of product for that. By comparison, I've brought out a couple others just so that you can see. This one here from Lancome, this is the Tente Doll Ultra Wear. In here you are getting 13 milliliters, but this one's gonna run you $40 plus. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly how much, $46 Canadian. And then for $39 Canadian, we have this one here from Too Faced. This is the Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and it is 15 milliliters for $39. So I feel like this is a fairly good price point for the amount of product that you're receiving, and also the amount of coverage that it provides. A little goes a very long way, as you'll see in the application. So I have brought the product up on the Sephora website so that I can take a look at exactly what the claims are. It says that it's hydrating, has a matte finish, offers full coverage, it's long wearing, it's good for dark circles, and it's best for dry, combo, or normal skin. I do have very normal, fairly balanced skin. We are in the middle of winter, so our furnace is running 24/7, so I'm about as dry as I get, but even at that, I wouldn't say that I have dry skin, at least not on my face. My legs, whole other different story, but we're not worried about those. So this says that it's a hydrating, lightweight, full coverage concealer that brightens the look of dark circles and covers imperfection without creasing or caking. And the highlighted ingredients are moringa seed, which is known to protect against urban aggressors, rose extract, known for locking in moisture, and water lily extract, known for soothing skin and redness. So with that information out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the product up close. The Good Apple Lightweight Full Coverage Concealer is available in 32 shades. I picked up Light 105, which is for fair light skin with warm yellow undertones. The claims on this concealer are that it's full coverage, that it's extremely long wearing, crease resistant, and that it's also hydrating and lightweight. All right, so no time like the present to hop into the actual application. So it has a rather interesting doe foot on it. I'll put it where you can see it a little bit better. It's sort of beveled, and it's only on the one side there. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know that that necessarily plays into how it applies or anything of that sort, but I haven't seen one like that before, so something new. So I don't know how much coverage this is really going to provide. And like I said, it is going to be very bright. So we're just going to go in with a little bit. We can always add more. It's easier to add more than it is to take it away. So let's go ahead and blend that out. And I stopped myself. I did put a little tiny bit down here and then wiped it away because I want to see the before and after. And even though this is quite light on me, we can still at least test out the formula, how it wears, all of that. It's currently Sunday morning, so I really don't have any plans on going anywhere. We're still in a semi-state of lockdown here, so there's really nowhere to go regardless. But actually, blending it, I mean, it is light, like it is light, but it's not as horrific as I thought it was going to be. Like it's not, once it's blended out, it's not that stark of a contrast. So that's actually not terrible. I don't think this would work for me at all in summer, but it's not summer, so here we are. I can see in the viewfinder that there is quite a bit of coverage. Like you can see just how dark it is here. Really brightens everything up over here. And it blended out really nicely as well. It doesn't feel like dry or powdery under the eyes. It wasn't really difficult to blend out. It didn't like just adhere to where it first being placed on the skin. I'm really impressed with the coverage of it though, like really impressed with that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and apply over here while we let this one sit down, see how it's gonna settle, and then we'll take a closer look. Okay. It's definitely bright in the viewfinder. It looks significantly brighter than it does in the mirror. But I am going to turn these side lights off. Okay, so not exactly natural light, but a little bit less of the artificial at any rate. I am going to zoom it in. We'll take a look and see how crease resistant this product really is. All right, so let's start with the nose and a little tiny bit of product at like the very, very corners right in here. And that could just be from lack of blending properly. I'm not too upset about that. Like it's right in the crease, so that's okay. It's not like it's sitting in this little line here, so I'm okay with that. Under the eyes, you can see I do have a few fairly deep little lines going on here. I don't think I said it at the top of the video. In case you're new here, I am 41 years old. I do undergo Botox, but I haven't in about 3 months. I've got an appointment in a couple of days, so this is as close to natural as my face gets. Like you can see there's some fine lines going on up here and definitely lines under here. Looking at the magnified mirror just au naturel as I am, I don't see any issues, but I suspect when I pull and release that little line that we might see some product, and yes, we do. So just like it's in that very, very deep crease over here, it's in the deepest crease underneath here. So that's just a matter of blending it out if I can find my brush. And that tends to happen with virtually every concealer that I use, simply because it is such a deep line. And then this eye has 2 deeper lines, so you can see it right here and then up as well. But it's pretty easily blended out. And that is something that I normally see, like I said, with other concealers as well. And then when I apply my powder, I always make sure to sort of just gently pull that down so that I can blend all of that out. So I'm not going to fault this specific concealer for that. It happens with virtually all of them. So now it's just a matter of longevity. Now I am going to go ahead and set it with some powder. I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Secret Under Eye Brightening Powder. This is the powder that I use virtually every single day under my eyes. And I'm just going to tap it into place. And then, like I said, just gently pull that down a little bit and just smooth out the product that's in those little creases. All right, and with that done, We're gonna leave it, it's gonna do its thing, and I will come back later on today to check in and see how it's held up. I'll see you then. Hello again. It has now been about 10 hours since I applied the concealer, so I'm gonna zoom you in so we can really take a look and see what the under eye situation is. All right, so I've got the side lights out. I've got my ring light down as low as it'll go to give as accurate of a depiction of my under eyes as I can. And I've got you zoomed in probably to an uncomfortable degree. I have my magnified mirror in front of me, so let's take a look. Before I start like pulling those fine lines apart to really see what's going on in there, first impressions are pretty darn good. It doesn't look super dried out. It doesn't look super cakey. There's definitely signs of wear, but it's been 10 hours. I'd be very, very surprised if there wasn't. But I'm pleased that at least from this distance, I'm not seeing any real dryness going on under there, and it doesn't look like the proverbial bag of dicks. So then let's just gently pull that down. So again, in this eye, I have 2 fairly large creases under the eye. On this one, I have 1. So here, this line here on the bottom, I'm not really seeing much product in there at all. There's a little bit towards this outside, but nothing terrible. The one on top, I don't know if you can see that or not, there's definitely more product caked up in that top line there. Again, when I just let it go, you can't see it in there. So do I care? Not really. Not really. But just to point out, it is most definitely there. On this side, I expect I'll see it as well. And I do. So I just want to make sure that you guys can see it. So there's a little tiny bit. It's not nearly as bad on this eye as it is over here. I do have asymmetrical eyes, and this one is a punk. But again, you can't really see it when my eyes are open. So is it worth getting super fussed about? I don't think so, considering the rest of it looks as good as it does. If this was all like patchy and dried out looking and cakey looking, then it would be a complete write-off to me, but it's not. And I can handle a little bit of product trapped in that line because you can't see it unless I walk around pulling my eye down and showing people at like 10x zoom. So I'm not going to be doing that at any point, so I'm not too concerned about it. But I am really pleased that the coverage is held up. I mean, obviously, again, there is wear. There's definitely signs of wear. But I think it looks good. I'm happy with the way that it looks. There we have it. Okay. Let's back it up and I'll give you my final thoughts on this one. All right, so where do we go from here? I'm happy with this. This is my first time wearing it, so I do need to give it some more tries, see if it consistently holds up from wear after wear, but on first impressions, I am pleased with this. I am quite happy with this. I am actually shocked that the shade worked out as well as it did because I really did think it was going to be like way too light, but I put it on underneath my foundation and I think that that made the difference, just sort of blending in where the concealer ends and my skin begins. I think it just sort of masked that. I really like how it's held up throughout the day. I really do think that it is a very lightweight concealer. You really don't need a lot. There is extremely good coverage in here and it does blend out really nicely as well. So a little goes a long way. I did bring out a few other concealers from my collection that I think are very similar to this, just to give you an idea of what you can kind of expect from this one. So up first, we've got the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. This one I have in the shade 20S. The shade comparison is not there. This is obviously a lot lighter than the other ones that I have, and yet somehow it's workable, so not complaining. That's just a happy little accident. But in terms of the overall longevity of the concealer, it's right up there with the crease-proof. And in terms of how much product that you need, it ranks right up here with this one as well, because this you just need like a little dot and you're good to go. As well, there's this one here from Dior. This is the Forever Skin Correct, and I have it in 2N. This one is a little bit more on like the emollient side, so it feels a little bit more hydrating under the eyes, but it also shows a little bit more wear throughout the day. So if you're really looking for longevity, I would give the KVD the edge over the Dior. But if you have particularly dry under eyes, you might get along better with this one than with the KVD. And then finally, we've got the Lancome Teint Idole. This one I have in the shade 250. This one checks all the boxes for me, and this one's ranking right up there with it, at least on first impressions. I do have to wear this more times before I can really like definitively say that, but the first impression is very reminiscent to my experience with this one. This one, again, a little goes a long way. It is quite hydrating under the eyes, amazing coverage, and wears really beautifully throughout the day as well. I didn't say it at the top of the video, I probably should have, but what I am looking for in a concealer, it has to have high coverage, it has to last well throughout the day, and it has to be crease resistant. Not entirely crease proof. As we saw, there's some trapped in that line, and I really don't give two figs because you can't see it anyway, so I don't care. But as long as those three boxes are checked, I'm usually pretty happy. And this one here from KVD checks all the boxes. So there you have it. Those are my overall first impressions of the Good Apple Concealer. If you have tried it out, please let us know your experiences down below, especially if you do have a skin type that's different than mine. If you have combo skin, oily, dry, let us know how it worked out for you so that we can get as much breadth of information as possible. But for now, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. If you enjoyed the review, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already, I invite you to consider doing so. But for now, I am going to say farewell, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.